Hello, grade 11. Welcome to the November examinations preparation session, where I will be taking you through a past examination paper in tourism. So the first thing which we'll do, the mark allocation will be 200. Then the time allocation is 3 hours. Then in terms of the instructions of the information, the basic instruction is that the paper consists of 5 sections. Then you are required to answer all questions. Then you're required to start each question on a new page. Then when you're doing when you're doing foreign currency calculations, you are required to round off your answers to the correct to 2 decimal places. Then you are reminded to show all calculations since when you're calculating, each stage of calculation is awarded a mark. So you are reminded to show all calculations. Then you may use a non-programmable calculator that is allowed, of course. Then mark allocation should guide the length of your answer. Then you are reminded to write neatly and legibly. Then in terms of the topics outline, in section A, you have short questions, obviously. Then you get your 40 marks from them. Then map and tour planning, that's 20 marks. Tourist attractions, culture, heritage, and marketing, 50 marks. Then tourism sector, sustainable and responsible tourism, that's 50 marks. Then domestic, regional, and international tourism, 40 marks. Then communication and customer care will be awarded 40 marks. So the grand total will be 200 marks. So moving straight ahead to the short questions. Question 1, it reads, various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the answer and write only the letter. So they are looking for flights operate within South Africa. So the flights which operate within South Africa are known as domestic flights. They are known as domestic flights. Those are the flights which operate within South Africa. They don't cross borders, so they are regarded to be domestic flights. Then one of the following is not an example of a below-the-line advertising technique. So when we are talking about the below-the-line marketing technique, we are talking about marketing techniques which do not involve a one-on-one encounter with a client. So the poster will be the correct answer, which will be C. Then moving straight ahead, money that people in a country use for their day-to-day transactions. So when you are in South Africa, for example, the money which you use for your day-to-day transaction is known as local currency. So the rand is the South African local currency. Then moving on to the next one, people who do not always know how to express their ideas or instruction can cause what we call miscommunication. If you're not able to communicate your ideas or to express your ideas or instruction, it results in miscommunication. It results in miscommunication whereby the other party would end up receiving the wrong information, which is not the intended one. Then these are the 3 pillars of sustainable tourism business practice. So the 3 pillars of sustainable tourism business practices include place, planet, and the people. Place, planet, and the people. These are the 3 pillars of sustainable and responsible tourism. Then the picture below is an example of N. So you can see the question requires you to identify what part of the aircraft this picture is. So the first thing, I need you to draw your attention to these seats. So you can see this is the seating configuration. These are the seats, then we also the windows here, then the seats. Then above the seats, we do have this compartment. We do have this compartment, which is known as the overhead storage bin. It is known as the overhead storage bin. Then moving straight to 1.1.7, a tour itinerary is so when you talk about an itinerary in general terms, we are talking about a written plan of a journey. An itinerary is a written plan of a journey. So a written plan of a journey would include this information. It's a schedule which includes dates, the dates, the times, the activities, and accommodation for the tour. So it includes the date of departure, the date of arrival, what is going to happen, what activities are going to take place, where are people going to sleep. So that is what is known as an itinerary. So the correct answer there will be the letter B. Then 1.1.8, the aim of the domestic tourism growth strategy is to encourage people to, so the key there is domestic because DTGS simply means domestic tourism growth strategy. So it is to encourage people to travel within South Africa, to travel within South Africa's borders. That is the aim of the DTGS. Then the aspect of Sotho culture displayed in the picture below. If you look at this picture, we can see that this gentleman who is on the right-hand side is wearing Sotho hat. Then in addition to that, is also having a blanket. Then the same applies to the lady who is also putting on a Sotho dress. So this is an example of dress code. So this aspect of culture is known as the dress code. Then 1.1.10, private landing strips are located in or. So private landing strips are usually located in or on personal property. So personal property can include a plot, it can include a farm. That's where you find private landing strips. Now moving on to the next one, 1.1.11, a hop-on, hop-off bus service for a backpacker tourist. So backpacker tourists are those tourists who move from one place to another. So they usually use the bus in South Africa. The bus is an example of a what? Of a hop-on bus service. So the next question, 1.1.12, a spa treatment on board a cruise ship can be classified as that is classified as a service. You are receiving a service in exchange for money. So it is classified as a service. Then 1.1.13, a privately owned rail passenger service that operates in Southern Africa. So they are looking for a privately owned rail passenger service that operates in Southern Africa. In Southern Africa, that is our key term. So the correct answer here would be, it will be the Blue Train. The Blue Train operates within Southern Africa, because remember I said the key term there is within Southern Africa. When they are talking about Southern Africa, they are talking about the region, which includes countries such as Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, and others. So in this case, the reason why I left out Metro Rail, you can see, you can discover that it is actually a commuter train which operates within or between cities. It operates between South African cities. Shosholo Zamel, it is a tourist train which operates between cities as well. Then the Gautrain, it is only operates within Gauteng province, mainly from Pretoria or Aratabo Airport up until Johannesburg Park Station. So that is it. Now let's move on to 1.1.14. The term schedule in the transport sector means, when we are talking about a schedule, we are talking about, when we are talking about a schedule, we are talking about a timetable which is operating, means operating on set times and dates. When you talk about a schedule in the transport sector, we are talking about a timetable which allows a transport operator to operate on set times and dates. The percentage charged for a tourism levy when renting a car. So the percentage which will be charged is 1%, which is collected by TOMSA. All right, 1.1.16. One of the qualities of an entrepreneur is, when you're an entrepreneur, you are supposed to be able to take risk. You are supposed to be in a position to take risk. So taking risk is one of the qualities of an entrepreneur. 1.1.17, the abbreviations CDW and TLW are used in terms used in. CDW and TLW are terms used in. So these terms are the terms which are used in what? In car rental insurance. When you are renting out a car, they would use these terms. For example, CDW, it simply means collision damage waiver. Then collision damage waiver. Then TLW simply means theft loss waiver. So these are terms which are used in the commuter, in the car rental insurances. In order to access the Gautrain, a passenger must be in possession of a gold card. In order to access the Gautrain, you must have a gold card. It allows you access to the what? To the Gautrain. Then 1.1.19, is suitable for sightseeing. When you want to go for sightseeing, you can use a red top bus. A red top bus it's the one which is suitable for sightseeing. Then 1.20, which of the following countries does not belong in the SADC? So the country which does not belong in SADC here will be Mexico, because Botswana is a neighboring country which belongs in SADC. Malawi is a neighboring country which belongs to the SADC. Angola is a neighboring country which belongs to the SADC. So the correct answer there will be the letter C. That will be Mexico. Now moving straight ahead onto the second part of question 1. So it reads, give one word or term for each of the following descriptions by choosing a word or term from the list below. Write only the word or term next to the question numbers 1.2.1 to 1.2.5 in the answer book. For example, 1.2.5 Malawi. So a rubber breathing device that drops down when there is loss of cabin pressure. This rubber device is known as an oxygen mask. So the oxygen mask is the correct answer for question 1. Oxygen. It is known as the oxygen mask. That is the rubber device which drops when there is a drop in cabin pressure. 1.2.2 reads, the area of an aircraft where food is stored, cooked, and prepared is known as the galley. This area is known as the galley. That is where food is prepared and everything is prepared. Drinks and beverages, they are also prepared there. 1.2.3, an area where passengers can confirm their arrival for the flight. They can do this at the check-in counter. This can be done at the check-in counter. Check-in counter. That is where you present your document at the check-in counter. Then 1.2.4, the enclosed area where the pilot controls the aircraft. The pilot controls the aircraft from an area which is known as the cabin. Cabin. That is where the pilot controls the aircraft. Then, cabin should be put on the cabin should be put below them. Let me write it right next to cabin. All right, there we are. Then a device that allows passengers to collect their baggage after disembarking. After they finished, after the flight is complete, after the check-in is complete, and also the checking of the luggage is complete, there is a device which is known as a carousel. A carousel, it looks like a conveyor belt. It transports or it ferries baggage at an airport. Then 1.3, choose the correct words from those given in brackets. Write only the words next to the question numbers, e.g. 1.3.6 dress code. A common meal among all cultures in Gauteng and throughout South Africa is, so a common meal which almost every household eats. It is known as pap and vors. Pap and vors is a common meal. Then a facility that allows tourists to exchange their country, to change their country. Okay, I think there is what you call it, typing error. It should read currency here. So a facility that allows tourists to exchange their currency. It is this takes place at commercial banks. So this takes place at commercial banks. That is done at a commercial bank. Now 1.3.3, a promotional technique that focuses on direct contact with potential customers is known as so the question reads, a promotional technique that focuses on direct contact with potential customers is known as below the line market promotional technique. That is known as the below the line promotional marketing technique. Then 1.3.4, regional or international tourism is the movement of people within the continent. That is known as regional tourism. That is known as regional tourism. Now, 1.3.4, the Pride of Africa is associated with which type of train? So the Pride of Africa is associated with the Shongololo Express. That is associated with the Shongololo Express. Now, moving straight to the next question. 1.4, choose a description in column B that matches the term related to cost when renting a vehicle. Write only the letter A to E next to the question number. So the contract fee, what is the contract fee? So the contract fee, basically, it refers to, the contract fee refers to, let's look for the correct answer. It is charged by the rental company and covers rental and documentation cost. So the correct letter for contract fee will be the letter F, which is this one. That is the correct contract fee. It is represented by the letter F. Then traffic administration fee. When you talk about traffic administration fee, we are talking about basically about it is charged by the rental company in the event of a speeding fine issued by the rental during the rental period. So the correct letter for this one will be the letter G. So we take the letter G to this one. So this one is the letter G. Then personal accident insurance. Personal accident insurance, it actually covers the renter in the event of an accident. So in the event of an accident, it charges the renter. It actually covers the renter in the event of an accident. So PAA is represented by the letter A. Then the next one, moving straight to the next one, delivery and collection fee. So a fee paid if the car is rented in a different location and returned to a different location. This is known as E. That will be E. Then airport surcharge. This is the amount paid extra when you rent a car from the airport. So which is represented by the letter C. So the correct letters, I will do a rundown. 1.4.1 F, 1.4.2 G, 1.4.3 A, 1.4.4 E, then 1.4.5 C. So those are the correct responses for that one. So the question reads, rearrange the steps A to E for dealing with verbal customer complaints below in the correct order so that each step follows the previous one in a logical order. Write only the letters A to E next to the question number and step number in the answer book. For example, step 6F. So the first one, solve the problem immediately. Listen carefully to what the customer has to say. Ask our customers in a caring or concerned matter, apologize without blaming. So I'm going to take you through the steps. So step number 1 should be B. Listen carefully. That is B. You must listen carefully to what the customer has to say. So the first one is B. Listen carefully to what the customer has to say. Then after listening carefully, you ask questions. Ask questions. In a caring or concerned manner. In a caring or concerned manner. Then you go to the next step, which is E. After that, you apologize for bad service. Apologize without blaming anyone. Without blaming. Then after you do that, you move on to step 4. In step 4, we go to A now. You solve the problem immediately. Don't take too long. You solve the problem immediately. Solve the problem immediately. solve the problem immediately. Step 5, offer the customer something to make up for the inconvenience. Offer the customer something to make up for the inconvenience. Offer the customer something to make up for the inconvenience. So offer the customer something to make up for the inconvenience. Then moving straight ahead, the next step, we are now moving on to MapWork tour planning and tour exchange and foreign exchange. So this is section B. So when it comes to section B, we need read the itinerary which is provided below and answer the questions that follow. So as you read an itinerary, you must highlight some of the key pieces of information which you are given. Then a world in one country from 36,000 per person sharing. So this is the amount. Then the duration is going to be 2 days. Then the time frame is going to be from the 28th to the 30th of November. So day 1, from Cape Town on arrival in at OR Tambo International Airport, you'll be met by a representative and transferred to your hotel. Johannesburg is the largest and the most popular city in South Africa. It is also a source of a large-scale gold and diamond trade. Using a Mercedes-Benz Viano, the outing for the day is at Lion Safari Park. You enjoy a game drive of 45 minutes, enjoying the view of animals. The remainder of the day is for leisure and relaxation at your hotel. At 7 p.m., we will meet up at the reception for a briefing on the tour and a chance to meet fellow travelers. So the Protea Hotel Wanderer Standard Room, that will be the accommodation. So we can as well highlight the accommodation. Then day 2, there is a departure from Johannesburg after breakfast with a Mercedes. So the mode of transport is Mercedes to Mpumalanga province, which is also known as the Paradise Country. Then there's a stop at God's Window, which is an attraction. Then they'll be mesmerized by this famous natural landmark along the panorama route. Lunch will be served, and after lunch, we travel via the Sub-B and arrive late afternoon in Hazyville, the safari hub of the Kruger National Park. Okay, it will involve that. Then the room or the accommodation will be Berry's Hollow standard hotel room. All right. Now let's get straight to the question and determine what the question wants. So redraw the table below and write the above itinerary in a table format for the 2 days above. So include the important elements when drawing up an itinerary as shown in the table below. So we will start by redrawing this particular table. Okay. We start by redrawing the table. Okay. Start by redrawing the table itself. All right. So on the first day, let's look at day 1. Day 1, arrival from Cape Town, arrival in Johannesburg at OR Tambo International Airport. So the dates then will be the 28th of November. That is day 1. 28th of November. That will be day 1. Then it's day 101. Then the tourist attraction then, the tourist attraction will obviously be the Lion and Safari Park. Lion and Safari Park. The Lion and the Safari Park, that is the tourist attraction. The activities done there, it includes a game drive in the Safari Park, game drive, transport, Mercedes Viano. They would make use of a Mercedes Viano. Then accommodation, Protea Wanderers Hotel. So they'll sleep at the Protea Wanderers Hotel. So that is day one. So I need to reel off day one there. Now moving on to day two. Day two will be the 29th. Then it is written 02. Then the attraction there will be God's Window. There are two attractions. They'll go to God's Window. Then they'll go to the Kruger National Park. Then in addition to that, they would do a nature tour whereby they'll be viewing nature. In addition to that, there is a game drive. Then mode of transport is still a Mercedes Viano. Then they will sleep at Paris Bridge, Wolo Boutique Hotel. At Wolo Bridge Boutique Hotel. So that is the itinerary. So note that it is a 2-day itinerary. The tour starts on the 28th. The tourist attraction, Lion and Safari Park, activities, game drive, transport, Mercedes Viano, accommodation, Protea Wanderers Hotel. Then on the 29th, God's Window, nature tour, game drive, Mercedes Viano, Paris Bridge, Wolo Boutique Hotel. Then now moving on straight ahead to 3.1. So 3.1, it says refer to the table below and answer the questions that follow. So this is foreign currency. We do have the foreign currency, the currency code, the exchange rate. We have the US dollar, United States dollar, USD. It's trading at 1903. The euro code EUR, exchange rate 2013. British pound GBP 2310. So we do have Usisiwe from KZN who traveled to South Africa, returned actually to South Africa from her business trip in the United States of America. She has $75 on her spending money left. Calculate the amount in rand she will receive when she exchanges her money. So round off to correct to 2 decimal places, show all calculation. So the first thing when you're dealing with Forex, try to determine what's happening there. So we have, she's returning to South Africa. She has foreign currency, $75, that's foreign currency. Eh? Then she needs to convert it to rand. So the formula is always from Forex, when you have Forex to rand, multiply by exchange rate. When you are moving from Forex to rand, multiply whatever you have there by the exchange rate. So in this case, we are saying $75. We are taking our $75 multiplied by our exchange rate, which is 19,03. So when you do that, when you say that one multiplied by 19,03, you end up getting, let's take out our calculators so that we can calculate it using this, using your calculators. So what we are saying is 75 multiplied by 19,03. All right. So this one, it gives us in rands. So it's important to write that these are now rands. 1,427 and 25 cents. 1,427.25 cents. That is then how you calculate that. So bear in mind that from Forex to rand, multiply by the exchange rate. Then let's go to 3.2. We do have Melanie now. Let's find out what's happening with Melanie. Melanie is planning to visit her family in London. She has saved 8,500 to use as a family. So there are two key things which we need to highlight there. London and the amount. So the first thing, London is the capital of the UK. So in London, they use the GBP. They use the Great British Pound. So now, what are we doing here? We are converting from rands to Forex. Divide. We are now doing the opposite. From rands to Forex, you divide by the exchange rate which is provided. So what do we have here? We have 8,500 divided by our exchange rate this time is 23.10. Why? Simply because she's going to London. In London, they use the Great British pound. So we are getting 23.10. So 8,500 divided by 23.10. And let's see how it comes out. So using our calculator, we say 8,500 divided by 23.10. It gives us, okay, let me redo it. 8,500 divided by 23.10. It gives us 3. So the sign of the pound is like this. Sign of the pound is like this. 367.97. 367 pounds, 97. So that is the correct answer there. 367. So make sure that you bear in mind the formula of foreign currency. So from rand to forex, from forex to rand, we multiply. Then from rand to forex, we divide. So that is how you do that calculation. So give the currency name and the currency code used in the UK. Give the currency code, okay? Give the currency name and the currency code used in the UK. So in the UK, they use the Great British Pound. They use the GBP. Then two places where Milan can exchange her local currency for the trip. So Melanie has quite a number of options. She can actually change her foreign currency at different places. She can change at a hotel, airport, airport. You can also change at a bureau de change. You can also change at a bureau. She can also change at a bureau de change. Bureau de change. That's where you can also change. Then moving on to the next one, the next question, it requires us to calculate. It requires us to calculate of which we have already calculated. So it's the same calculation which we did in 3.2, whereby we are changing how much Melanie would receive when she exchanges the rand for a currency. So basically, we did it, it's 8,500 divided by 23.10, which is equivalent to 367.97. So it's the same calculation which we had already done up there. So that is question 3. So how does money spent by international tourists benefit local people? So there are so many ways in which money spent by local tourists benefits local people. So I would outline it below. So the question reads, how does money spent by inbound international tourists benefit local people? So the first thing, it boosts local businesses. Remember, tourists come and spend their money on food, on gifts, on souvenirs. So as they are doing so, they boost local entrepreneurs. Then it also creates job opportunities. It creates job opportunities for the local people. People can end up getting jobs in hotels, in attractions, so it creates jobs. Then it also leads to infrastructure development, development of roads, development of hotels, development of restaurants, which are a good thing. So it also leads to infrastructure development. So that's a good thing as well. Then it contributes to the local multiplier effect, contributes to the local multiplier. It also contributes to the local multiplier effect. So these are the positives which you can find, the benefits which you can find locally. Then section C, tourism attractions, culture, heritage, and marketing. Tourism attractions, culture, heritage, and marketing. Study the SADC map below and answer the questions that follow. So basically, this is a map of the SADC region. So basically, we do have letters which are labeled A, B, C, and D. Let's just find out what the questions require. So they need the name of the country, A. So the name of the country A, the country which is at the center there, which is landlocked, is known as Zimbabwe. That is Zimbabwe. So A is Zimbabwe. Then B, that is Zambia. Sorry, that is B is actually the Democratic Republic of Congo. So B, that is DRC. D is DRC. Then C on the other side, that is Namibia. C, that is Namibia. Then D, that is Botswana. D is Botswana. So then the question now requires us to deal with the attractions. But before I do that, I'll just label also these ones on the map so that they can be visible. So this is DRC. This is Zimbabwe. Then this is Namibia. Then this is Botswana. So 2 attractions found in each country. So let's start with Zimbabwe. What do we find in Zimbabwe? In Zimbabwe, you find the Victoria Falls, Hwange National Park. You find the Victoria Falls and Hwange National Park. So they need 2. You will also find Lake Kariba, Manapus National Park, Matopos Hills. All right. Then the country's capital city is known as Harare. That is South Africa. Then when we go to that is Zimbabwe, sorry. When you go to the next one, DRC. So in DRC, it's we have the Virungi National Park, NPark. In addition to that, we have the Salonga National Park. Salonga National Park. Then the capital city is called Kinshasa. Then when you go to Namibia, in Namibia, you find the Fish River Canyon. Fish River Canyon. Then in addition to that, you find the Skeleton Coast. The skeleton coast. Then the capital city is called Windhoek. Then in Botswana, you find the Okavango Delta. Find the Okavango Delta. Then you find Chobe National Park. And also Tsodilo Hills. Then the capital city is known as Gaborone. There we are. So those are the different attractions found in that particular part of the world. The name the recently added Southern African country, it is called the Union of Comoros. It's an island in the Indian Ocean, the Union of Comoros. The Union of Comoros. That is the recently added SADC country. Then here, read the information below and answer the questions that follow. We do have the Sunny Pass here. The mother of all South African mountain passes strategically and in every sense. It outdistances, outclimbs, and outperforms all its competitors with consummate ease to become the most iconic gravel pass in South Africa. The pass was built in circa 1950 and remains a challenging drive in the 4x4 with all the drama scenery and bad weather. Name the country where the Sunny Pass is located. So the Sunny Pass is located in Lesotho. The Sunny Pass is located in Lesotho. Then 4.2.2, mention the popular mode of transport used in this country. So they use the Basotho pony trails. They use ponies. The Basotho pony trails. Then the Sunny Pass attracts a number of tourists with different interests. Mention one type of tourist that can visit the Sunny Pass. We do have leisure tourists. Then eco-tourists, adventure tourists who would want to enjoy the 4x4 off-road adventure. All right. Then one activities that can take place that engage in the Sunny Pass, you can have a guided tour, pony rides, 4x4 driving. So all these are activities which you can do in the Sunny Pass. So that is question 4. Moving straight to question 5. Read the information below and answer the questions that follow. Rainbow Nation. South Africa is the nickname, the Rainbow Nation, for a reason. South African culture is unique because it is a mix and a wide variety of different cultures. Most of them have unique cultural and customary practices. The common phenomenon among all of them is that their rituals are performed with slaughtering of a goat, a sheep, or even a chicken. Apart from slaughtering animals in different cultures, play a significant role. So now the question reads, list any, identify 2 elements of culture from the statement above. So from the statement above, actually the question restricts us to the statement above. So South Africa is a nickname, the Rainbow Nation, for a reason. South African culture is it is a mix of a wide variety of different cultures. Most of them have a unique cultural and customary practices. So customary practices, that's an element of culture on its own. Then, rituals, all those are cultural elements. So identify 2 elements of culture from the statement above. 2 elements of culture. So we have cuisine, which is food, also known as food. Then in addition to that, we have cultural practices, the practices. Then in addition to that, we have dress code. Dress code as well. Then we also have music and dance. Dance. And finally, folklore. All these are elements of culture. So the question required two only. You can choose from there. So define the concepts of culture and heritage, definition of our terms. So we start with culture. Culture refers to culture refers to culture refers to all right, so culture refers to the shared beliefs, customs, and traditions that characterized a group, that characterize a group. That is culture. So these are the shared beliefs, customs, and traditions that characterize a group. Then on the other side, heritage, it refers to the origins or inherited traditions of a group. Origins, heritage refers to the origins, it refers to the origins or the inherited traditions. Origins or the inherited traditions of a group, and their shared history, past and shared history passed from generation to generation. Passed from generation to generation. Passed from generation to generation. So that refers to the shared groups and origins that is shared from generation to generation. Then now moving on to the next one. Cultural uniqueness is a big factor that contributes to and drive both domestic and international tourism. Explain two ways on how cultural uniqueness promotes domestic and international tourism. So it boosts local businesses. It boosts local businesses because it attracts people who want to experience those culture. It boosts local businesses. It boosts local businesses by attracting tourists. It encourages economic growth. It encourages economic growth. In addition to that, it builds local partnerships. Local partnerships. Builds local partnerships. So that is how it takes place. So then we have the UNESCO and the SADC. Give the full acronym of SADC. SADC refers to the South African Heritage Resources Agency. South African Heritage Resources Agency. So SADC refers to South African Heritage Resources Agency. Then explain two functions performed by SADC in relation to the national estates. It promotes, it protects and maintains cultural heritage sites. SADC promotes and maintains national heritage sites. Heritage promotes and maintains national heritage sites. In addition to that, it also educates and trains people on heritage management. It educates and trains people on heritage management. So that is the purpose of SARA. Now, two examples of sites which are protected by SARA. So we have examples of structures which are protected by SARA. We have buildings older than 60 years. Older than 60 years. That is the first thing. Buildings which are older than 60 years. Then we also have meteor rights. Then we also have shipwrecks. Burial grounds. Shipwrecks are burial grounds and graves. Then we also have archaeological materials. Then in addition to that, there are also archaeological materials. Then question 6, study the pictures below and answer the questions that follow. Identify the methods, the advertising methods used in picture A, B, and C. So if you look at picture A, B, and C, you can see that this one is a large billboard. So we write the term billboard. So the first one is a billboard, giant billboard. Then B, it actually represents a magazine. You can see that it's a magazine. So that is a magazine advertisement. B, that is a magazine. Magazine advert. Then finally C is actually cell phone advertising. C is cell phone advertising. Cell phone advertising. Then the next question, 6.1.2, explain why the advertising methods in question 6.1 are categorized as above the line promotion techniques. So they are considered to be above the line advertising advertising promotes a product through the use of mass media. Through the use of mass media. And what do you mean by mass media? We are talking about billboards. Billboards, thousands of people view billboards on a daily basis. Then the same applies to magazines. They are distributed to thousands and thousands of people. Adverts which are put on cell phones, they also reach thousands and thousands of people. So these are mass communication mediums. So that's why they are called above the line. Give 2 reasons why advertising with method C would be a valuable strategy for tourism business to inform tourists about products and services. So one thing about C, that's a cell phone. It is easy to use. Cell phones are easy to use. Easy to use. And the majority of people have access to cell phones. Of people have access to cell phones. Cell phones are easy to use and the majority of people have access to cell phones. In addition to that, what else can we say? We can also say that tourism businesses On cell phones, tourism businesses can market through through SMS, voice calls, social media. You can do so many things with a cell phone, etc. So you can do so many things with the cell phone. So that is why it's, yes, an advantage over the rest there. Now, moving on to question 6, that is 6.2. Study the pictures below and answer the questions that follow. Gauteng's trade at Africa's Travel Indaba. So that is the stand for Gauteng. Gauteng Tourism Authority and the Provincial Tourism Agency once again marketed Gauteng at their stage at Africa's Travel Indaba in Durban. There were 48 role players representing Gauteng's township, tourism hub and main attractions. Africa's Travel Indaba is an annual tourism marketing event that are famous throughout the world. Mention 3 traveling costs that the Gauteng authorities incurred for their personal budget when attending the travel, Africa Travels Indaba when drawing up a marketing budget. So they might have hired a vehicle. So vehicle hire, then flight tickets, petrol costs, Then in addition to that, accommodation and meals. Then toll gates. In addition to toll gates, e-tolls. So all these are different traveling expenses which they might have incurred. Now, moving straight to question 7. Read the information below and answer the questions that follow. So a sommelier is known as a wine steward, is a person who works in the fine dining restaurants, 5-star accommodation, casinos, resorts, and cruise ships. This person has excellent knowledge or expert knowledge about wines and provides customers with a sound advice on which selection to try. A sommelier needs to be professional in dress code, attitude, be skillful and knowledgeable. Some of the skills needed are interpersonal skills, which allow for effective interaction and understanding of customers. Great customer skills, communication skills are vital for fulfilling the customer's expectation. A sommelier must be passionate and well organized and know how to work under pressure. They should also understand the financial aspects of wine making. Name the sector a sommelier will be employed in. Which sector do we find a sommelier? A sommelier is found in the hospitality sector. So this sector is known as the hospitality. Out of the tourism sectors, it's found in the hospitality sector. And to the specific, you can actually say that food and beverage sector, and we can even expand and say accommodation sector. Then in the cruising sector. So all these are options which you can choose. Mention 2 interpersonal skills that will be required to work in the sector named. So you must have great communication skills. That is the first thing. The skills, great communication skills. Number 1, you must be able to communicate with customers well. Communication skills. Great communication skills. Then in addition to that, you must be skillful. Must be skillful. You must be passionate. You need skill. You need also to be passionate. Then 7.1.3, a sommelier needs to have an ability to work under pressure. Explain the importance of this ability in relation to the sector named in question 7.1.1. A sommelier needs to have an ability to work under pressure. Explain the importance of this ability in relation to the sector named. All right. So a sommelier will be working with multiple orders. A sommelier will be working with multiple. A sommelier will be working with multiple orders at the same time. So you may work with quite a number of orders at the same time. Then it is a fast-paced industry. It is a fast-paced industry. Then it needs concentration to avoid mixing orders. To avoid mixing of orders. It requires you to be always concentrating. So 7.2, study the picture below and answer the questions that follow. There's thrifty car rental, your booking information, Hyundai, i10 or similar. Pick date and time, pickup 26 September 2014 at Port Elizabeth, drop off at Mtata. The vehicle selection group A, mileage 200 kilometers free per day. Standard cover included Hyundai i10 or similar 198 per day. Standard cover and 200 free kilometers. Some upgrade to super cover, excess amount 4,000 payable on pickup. Total 397 for 2 days, excluding contract fee and vehicle protection plan. Name one document required to rent a vehicle. When you rent a vehicle, you need a valid driver's license. A valid driver's license. A valid driver's license. Valid driver's license. Name the preferred payment method when renting out vehicle. Credit card. Credit card. Credit card. All right. Customers with good credit record are easier to deal with. Customers with a good credit record are easier to deal with simply because there is an element of trustworthiness there. Explain the concept of excess. So excess is the specified amount of money that someone must pay before the insurance company will pay for the damage or loss. It is a specified amount of money that someone must pay the insurer. That the insurer must pay before the insurance company pays for damages or loss. Before the insurance company pays for damage or loss. So that is known as excess. Then 7.2.4, explain the difference between standard and super types of insurance. So in standard, okay, the premium is lower in standard. is lower in standard insurance. The premium is lower, but the payout is also lower. So lower premium, lower payout. Then super insurance is higher premiums and lower, and is lower excess, the amount which lower excess. So this is the best form of insurance. This is the best form of what? Of insurance. Then at what time should the unit be returned to avoid incurring additional costs? So that car should be returned at least by 10 o'clock. Why are we saying so? If you go back to it, it reads that drop off at 10 o'clock. So it should be returned back by 10 o'clock. Then list 2 car rental tips to follow when returning a rental vehicle. When you return a rented vehicle, you are supposed to, when you return a rented vehicle, you're supposed to pay, always take a contract. Always take a contract. Then in addition to that, do not avoid returning the car with an empty tank. Returning the car with an empty tank. Avoid returning the car with an empty tank. So those are some of the tips. Study the information based on cruise liner and answer the questions that follow. MSC Cruises opened a new Durban cruise terminal in January 2021. This was announced with the arrival of the MSC Musica ship vessel cruiser. The MSC Musica offers a variety of activities and facilities on board. Some of these are swimming pools, play areas for children, theaters, casinos, restaurants, shops, and nightclubs, from interior cabins to those with their own balcony, as well as elegant suites. There is a variety of accommodation types to satisfy every test. So the question now reads, mention 2 facilities from the information above that are available to passengers on board. So there are casinos, this has been mentioned. Then we also, everything is written here. Restaurants, nightclubs, theaters, swimming pools. All right, define the concepts below used in the cruise liner industry. A port. So a port, basically, it is a place where ships load, a place, a town where ships load or unload passengers. It is a place where ships load or unload passengers. That is a port. So you can also say it's a place along the coast where ships can take refuge in the event of bad weather as well. Then a suite is a room or a compartment in a cruise ship that accommodates passengers. So a suite, it is a room or compartment in a cruise ship that accommodates passengers. So that's where passengers that accommodates passengers. That's where passengers sleep. They sleep in a suite. Now, moving on to the next one. Study the following extracts and answer the following questions. I don't think I'll ever use the Shosholoza again. Passengers nightmare trip to Cape Town. The experience was really horrible. I don't think I will ever use the Shosholoza mail again. This is how Maxwell Nkambule summed up his night pay journey from Johannesburg to Cape Town on the Shosholoza mail this week. He was one of the many people who snapped up the opportunity to travel on the long-distance train after the PRASA announced the resumption of services on December 1 after a 2-year pause. The trip had to be halted after it was discovered soon after midnight that overhead cables overhead cables wires had been stolen from Kraaifontein to Maudersvlei, affecting the Wellington Metro service. This forced PRASA to hire buses to ferry travelers for the rest of the journey. Kabule said he decided to take the train for the experience, but little did he imagine it would be an experience he would never want to repeat. When he bought a ticket for the Wednesday trip, he was told the journey would take a day. State the type of train the Shosholoza mail is classified as. It is a long-distance train. Long-distance tourist train. It is a long-distance tourist train. It is an intercity train. Intercity train. Then identify the name of the holding company that is managing Shosholoza mail. It is known as PRASA. Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa. Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa. That is known as PRASA. PRASA. Explain one way in which such a headline would affect the transport tourism industry. So there will be tourists will stop using the train. Will stop using the train. Tourists will stop using the train. Then in addition to that, low ridership. So very few people will ride the train. Tourism activities will decline. So these are some of the bad things which will happen because of this. Tourism would decline. Then moving on to the next question. What is happening at the airport? Refer to pictures, to the pictures below. What is happening at the airport and aircraft? So we have A, B, C, and D. So identify the airport building written A. So if you look at A, that is called the airport terminal. Airport T is known as the airport terminal. Then B, you can see that there are counters there. So it is known as the check-in counter. Then moving on to C. C, we do have passengers who are loading things onto their okay. The name placed B, that is the check-in counter. We have done that. Apart from the name mentioned in B, recommend one alternative method that passengers can use besides the one mentioned in 7.5.2. So that can be done through online. You can actually do that online. Online checking in. Online checking in. Then 7.5.3, apart from the name mentioned in B, recommend one alternative. We have done that, online checking in. So this is the correct answer for this one. State the name and the place labeled C. State the name of the place labeled C on the collage. So that is known as the overhead baggage bin. Overhead baggage bin. It's called the overhead baggage bin. Then 7.5.6, advise the tourist on what type of baggage is allowed on C. So on C, we only allow, or they are allowed to carry small bags, backpacks, laptop bags. So that is the only thing which is allowed there. Then give or one, the term that is used to refer to the section of the aircraft written D, that is known as the cockpit. That section is known as the cockpit. So now let's move on to 7.6. Study the picture below and answer the questions that follow. Gautrain, wrap your mind around this. Heading to OR Tambo International Airport, your bags read for free, and use our self-service kits to check in your flight and print your boarding pass at Centon station. So now that's a wrap. Okay, that's the advert for Gautrain. Identify the type of technology that the Gautrain has introduced to keep the passengers' luggage safe. So the type of technology is called free baggage wrapping. That is known as free baggage wrapping. Free baggage wrapping. That is the type of technology, free baggage wrapping. Then apart from the Centon station, give the name of the other station where the passengers may change trains and routes to the OR Tambo Airport. So this can be done at the Marlborough. It can be done at the Marlborough Gautrain station. So this can be done at the Marlborough train station. Then 7.6.1, in a paragraph, evaluate two ways in which the introduction of the Gautrain has benefited the introduction. So I'll just list the points. It has east, but you'll be required to write full sentences, of course. It has east congestion or traffic congestion. It has east traffic congestion on Gauteng's highway. It has east congestion on Gauteng's highway. That is the first thing. Then in addition to that, it has reduced costs of traveling. Cost of traveling instead of driving. You can simply get on the Gautrain. Reduced cost of traveling. Then in addition to that, it also easily connects, saves time, as it easily connects Pretoria, Johannesburg, and OR Tambo, which is Kempton Park. So it easily connects those three cities or those three places. So that is the advantage. Now, moving on to the next one, you can also say that the tourists can save money and use that money on what? On attractions rather than transport. Then what else? Now, moving on to the next question, which is question 8. Study the picture below and answer the questions that follow. Global warming and carbon footprint. Global warming is the long-term heating of the Earth's surface observed since pre-industrial period due to different human activities. In a paragraph, discuss the information below. The paragraph should include the causes of global warming. So global warming is caused by the following things. I'll write the points which you can include. High carbon footprint, which increases the total amount of greenhouse gases emitted in the atmosphere, into the atmosphere. Then we can also talk about emission of smoke in factories, in transports. So you can also add exhaust gases. All these things include all these things result in global warming. Consequences: rise in sea levels, caused by melting ice in the poles. Then in addition to that, we also have heat waves and floods. Climate change, extreme temperatures, heat waves, that has been done. Desertification, etc. How the tourism industry can minimize using the triple bottom line this can be done through we are talking about the environmental pillar. Through the environmental pillar, this can be done in the following way: recycling glass, recycling paper, reusing, and reducing. The 3 R's. So you need to discuss the 3 R's there. Then another thing is that the use of clean energy. Energy such as solar, wind energy. The use of clean energy such as solar or wind energy. Then in addition to that, we can talk about the use of green sources of green transport, which does not bicycles, animal power, the use of green transport. All these are sustainable practices. Now, question 9. In question 9, we are looking at domestic, regional, and international tourism. That is communication and customer affairs. Read the extract below and answer the questions that follow. Enjoy 2 nights in a self-catering apartment with 2 adults sharing and 2 kids under 12 years, a 2-hour boat cruise from 3,060 per night, 40% off. T's and C's apply based on availability. Valid until 12 December 2024. Identify the South Africa domestic marketing campaign in the advert. So there's it is known as the short left campaign. The short left campaign. They name the province of the travel idea. This is known as KZN. KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, because that place is the Isimangaliso Wetland Park. Wetland Park, Isimangaliso Wetland Park. So that's why we are saying that it is KZN. Then give the domestic tourism market segment targeted in the travel idea on the short left website. So the segment which is targeted, it is the New Horizon families. Families. Why are we saying that they are the New Horizon families? Simply because why do we say that? Motivate your answer by supplying the following equipment now, or sorry, information on the profile. So the first thing, New Horizon families, they are 35 years and above. Then in terms of the amount which they have disposable income, so their disposable income is 5,000 to 10,000 a month. To 10,000 a month. Preferred type of holidays, they like special offers on flights, and hotels. They like special offers on flights and hotels. Reasons for traveling. So they like to educate children. They traveled in order to educate children. In addition to that, for quality time. Spend quality time with their children. Give two strategic objectives of the DTGSA that's the above travel ideas. All right, the first target is to increase domestic tourism. To increase domestic tourism. So that is the first objective. They want to increase domestic tourism. In addition to that, to increase domestic tourism volumes. Volumes. So they also want to increase the volume of the people who have traveled. In addition to that, to enhance a culture of travel. A culture of travel. They like enhancing the culture of travel amongst people. So these are the strategic objectives. The 9.2, we do have the SADC. Then we have various flags of various countries which belong in SADC. So SADC, the definition of SADC, it refers to, or abbreviation of SADC, Southern African Development Community. So that is SADC. That is the definition of, the abbreviation of SADC. Then the main role of RITOSA. So RITOSA, it is to promote tourism. It aims to promote tourism in the SADC region. It aims to promote tourism in the SADC region. Then discuss two advantages of regional tourism in South Africa. Advantages of regional tourism. Regional tourism, tourists can visit without visas. Can easily move without visas. So tourists can easily move from one Southern African country to the other without the use of visas. So that is one advantage. So it promotes travel. Travel within the region. It promotes travel within the region. So that is the main role. That is the advantages of regional tourism. Now, question 10. To be competitive in today's global marketplace, the South African tourism industry needs to be aware of cultural traditions and customs of foreign visitors. Why is she trying to shake my head? Why is he bowing? So discuss two aspects that employees in a hotel should consider in order to ensure effective communication with foreign visitors from diverse cultural backgrounds. So the first thing is that you must speak clearly and slowly. Number one, speak clearly and slowly. Speak clearly and slowly. Then use vocabulary easy to understand. That is easy to understand. To understand. Your vocabulary shouldn't be too much. It should be easy to understand. Then know keywords. Know the keywords. And phrases in various languages. The keywords, the basics, the greetings. For example, Tumelang, Sanivonan. All those are basics in different languages. Then develop good listening skills. Must be a good listener, not a good... Develop good listening skills. 10.2.1, discuss the value of handling customer care in a constructive manner. So when you handle complaints in a constructive manner, it improves the business image, improves the business image. It improves the business image. Then in addition to that, it reduces marketing budget. It reduces the marketing budget. In addition to that, happier customers, with fewer complaints. We end up having happier customers with fewer complaints. That is, it's there. Then 10.2.2 lists the various types of equipment of technology used to communicate effectively in a business environment. So these, there are quite a number of them. You can make use of cell phones, then emails, websites, social media, then teleconferencing. So all these are different types of equipment or technology which can be used to communicate effectively in the business environment, especially from the tourism perspective. Then moving on to the next one, explain two types of strategies that could be used by a tourism industry or organization to achieve and maintain customer service. So you do what is called peer review. Ask your peers who are also in the tourism industry to give you feedback on whether you're doing the correct thing or not. So it's called peer feedback. Then we also have quality control. Quality control strategies whereby you control quality. Then performance management. You observe the performance of whatever which is being delivered. Performance management. Performance management. Then also customer service. Customer service will also be used to do this thing. So basically, this is an outline of the exam preparation for the November examination for tourism. Thank you for being my audience. I wish to see you in other sessions as well. Wish you the best of luck in your final examination. Thank you.